Everybody get enough to eat? Yeah? All right. Look, great to see you out here tonight. I appreciate it. For the newer folks here, we've been doing this for about 9 years. I think I say 8 or 9 years every time, so maybe for 9 years from now, I'll still say 8 or 9 years, right? Anyway, so for some of the newer people, we've been, again, doing this for about 8 or 9 years. Now, the purpose of this event is for me to connect you with each other. You know, I'm a guy that does business by referral. Yes, I'm looking for referrals, but the main focal point of this event is to connect you with each other. So I may not be able to give someone a direct referral in this room, but my hope is that there's a connection that's made between you guys here, you ladies and gentlemen here, that can be a power partnership and last for a long time. And in that, you will find value. So it's how does Rob provide value for you? You know, maybe in connecting you, maybe in giving you business, maybe in you giving me business, whatever it looks like. But the idea is for me to provide value for you here. So that's what that's all about. Once you're here, and I was telling Jared earlier, once you're here, you're supposed to be on my list to be invited every time. So I get your card. If I haven't met you before, you bring somebody, you bring a guest, meaning another business owner or another salesperson. That's the type of people I want to meet. That's the type of community I want to build in this database and have you meet each other. So is that good?
Yeah.
All right. Last time we spoke about gratitude, right? I'm always going to start with gratitude, so I thank you guys for being here. But we have a few sponsors tonight I want to introduce, you know. First, we'll go with Jen from DML. She's helped out last time. And go ahead, you can just, real quick, share a minute.
I'm not sure how this goes.
Oh, just tell us what you do. Just tell us what you do.
I work for Direct Mortgage. I have been in business for about 16 years. Came from Wells Fargo, very large company to a very small lender, and very happy,
The sponsorship there. Steve Wolf from Wolf Insurance. Steve and I have known each other a very long time, and Steve's been coming to these things for a while. So go ahead, Steve, real quick.
My name's Steve Wolf. I own a property and casualty insurance agency in Perry Hall. I've been in business about 24 years. So we specialize in personalized insurance, probably 75% of our business. So just auto, homeowners, motorcycle, boats, that kind of stuff. And we also do business insurance for liability, commercial auto, and work comp. But I'm an independent agent. We write for a lot of different companies, so we're able to help a lot of people, give them a lot of options and shop for their insurance and give great service. So it's a family business. All three of my kids are agents and they work for me. So it's a good office. Thanks.
Good, thanks, Steve. So they're exchanging cards on film. I got this taped. and finally, Brandon Fertini here. He's with Splat Pest Control. Is that right? Splat. So,
thank you, Rob.
So Brandon's helping out. Like Steve and Jen are help sponsoring this part of it. Brandon's helping me out with the video. So thank you, Brandon. So go ahead.
Big, right? So anyway, I like to kill bugs. I want to kill your bugs. I don't want you to have ants in your bread or cereal. I don't want you to have any termites eating up your house.
Or carpenter bees.
Or carpenter bees tearing up your deck. If there's anything I can do to help you, even if it's over the phone for your own personal information, I'm not looking for your money first. I want you to be happy. So if there's anything I can do to help you, just look up Splat. There's only 3 companies in the country with that name. You're the only one in America. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just a real quick story. I had these bumblebees flying around my deck the last couple of years, or the start of last year, and I got all this. We talked about my vegetable garden last year. I don't know if you remember that. And I'm thinking, oh, it's great. The bumblebees will pollinate my flowers, and I'll get all this fruit, whatnot. And they came back this spring already, and I'm watching the bumblebee, and he's buzzing around, right? And he goes to the joist under my deck. And he goes into this hole, and I start seeing like wood coming out of the hole. And I'm like, that's a carpenter bee. He's gonna tear my deck apart. So I called Brandon right away. I'm like, Brandon, what do I do? And he could have come over and said, let me treat it, this, that, and everything. He just told me what to do to handle it, you know? So, I mean, that's the kind of guy you're dealing with there. But it was funny because I'm like, those bees can tear my deck apart. And like when I go to sell the house, the inspector's gonna come in and he might say, look, there's evidence of carpenter bees. Have a contractor come in, inspect it, make sure that it's structurally sound. So that can happen. So, you know, he helped me out with that. So anyway, thanks guys, I really appreciate it. You know, feel free to give these guys a call, exchange cards, whatnot, and do business with each other. So anyway, any Dancing with the Stars fans here? Just 1, 2, 3? I'll raise my hand, I'm 4, okay. I'm a guy, I like Dancing with the Stars. My daughter got me into it. Any American Idol fans here? Okay, anybody else? Put your hand up, Steve, don't be afraid to put your hand up. It's good, it's okay, it's okay. You know. Any Bruce Springsteen fans here? I thought I'd see a few more hands go up with that, right? So I'll get back to that in a second. Everybody ever see the commercial, the Capital One commercial? You know, what's in your wallet? You know, you see all that stuff, you know? They got those medieval guys coming down with their swords or whatnot, and what's in your wallet, right? So I was thinking about that, and I've told you before I'm in the process of writing a book. So one of my chapters, I titled it Heart. Heart, you know, just heart, right? So I ask you this question. I ask each and every one of you this question. What's in your heart? Not what's in your wallet, but what's in your heart, okay? What is it that's in your heart that speaks to you every day that you feel like you're called to do, or that you just want to, you get up and that's, you live it, you drink it, you breathe it, right? What's in your heart, right? And I was thinking about it, and what happened was, what made me think of this, to write it out this way, right, to start writing this chapter, I was watching American Idol, And yeah, there's some, it's called goofballs that just want to get up there and do goofy things and get on camera and meet the stars or the judges, right? But there are some people up there that are really good. They're really good, and they get up there and they do their, what do you call it, not the interview, they do their audition, right? And you're like, wow. And then they get to Hollywood, and you watch these kids, if you will, sing. And you listen to it. You listen to how they sing the song. You watch how they sing the song, and they're singing from their heart. They're really singing from. They're up there because their heart is calling them to do this. Obviously, there's only one winner. You got your top 24, is it, or 20 at one point? Your top 10, down to the 5, down to your champion. But a lot of those singers end up with albums or contracts or whatever, agreements with these, I guess the artists who are the album record labels, if you will. And but it's because they come to the table and they give it all they got. They give it all they got with their heart, right? And then I'm watching Dancing with the Stars. My daughter got me into it. I've never watched it until last year, and my daughter got me into it. And I'm watching. You got your guests, celebrities or whatnot. You got your guests coming in, but you got the actual dancers, right? And next thing you know, my daughter's looking it up online, and they're coming to Baltimore, right? So the Dancing with the Stars, not the celebrities that compete, but the dancers themselves were coming to Baltimore, and it was just in it was in December or January. I think it was in January actually that we went, and we were sitting. My daughter's funny. This is all for my daughter, by the way. We were looking it up online. It's at the Lyric, right? And we're looking at the prices for these seats, and the closer up you sit, the more expensive it is, right? And I'm like, Amanda, we can't pay that for these seats. So between, I guess, row 8 and row 9, it was a difference of like $200, right? My daughter had a friend that was supposed to go too. She goes, Dad, I got a great idea. You buy me the ticket for the seat in front of you, and then you and Mom can save money and sit in the row behind us, and I'll be all right, right? And I'm like, that's my daughter, so she's a pistol, right? But we go to the event, and they have a meet and greet, so we paid a little extra money to get up there, and I'm like, I'm doing this for her, because she just lights up when she watches Dancing with the Stars, and I can see her body language. It's with sports, it's with, doing things outside, whether it's dance or just playing. She's got a heart. My daughter's got a huge heart, and she gives it all every time, right? So let's go do this. So we do the meet and greet, we meet the stars, and my daughter's just lit up. But we're sitting in the 8th row, right? And I'm watching these dancers go. Right, and they're giving it their all for like 2 hours, right? And and it's hard work. These guys, the aerobic activity these guys are going through, the calories they're burning. I'm like, they got to be wiped out after a show. But I'm watching, and they're giving it everything they got, every move, every technique. They're giving it all they got because they're coming there with their heart, right? And I'm like, man, it inspired me because I'm like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I playing life with my heart? That's what I ask myself. And every time I've watched the American Idol or the Dancing with the Stars, I'm like, I'm not watching this just to see who's going to win or see see what jokester's going to get up there and do whatever, or just watching dance. I'm watching it because I want to get inspired. That's why I watch these things, right? So last Wednesday night, I go to Bruce Springsteen, right? Didn't know much about him growing up. Didn't care much about for his music. Just wasn't a Springsteen fan, right? And my wife and I, we always plan these date nights. And it was in January, I guess. My brother-in-law calls me up. He goes, hey, Springsteen's coming to the arena. You want to go? And I really wasn't interested in it at first. And I said, you know what? This would be a cool, expensive date night, And I'm like, let's do it. I said, Dad, let's go to a Springsteen concert, right? So we get the tickets, and we're on our way down to the concert. And we're driving on 395, and we look at each other, and we're like, but we were both thinking the same thing. Why are we going to this concert tonight? And I'm like, Deb, I just thought it'd be a cool idea for us to go to this concert, you know? So we go, and I didn't know but maybe 6 songs, right? And he played for 3.5 straight hours. Wow. 3.5 straight hours, nonstop, no breaks. He's 66 years old, right? 66 years old. Now, my opinion is such that I don't think he's playing for the money right now. Would you agree with that? You know, unless he's done some stupid stuff with all the money he's making, you know, and just doesn't have any. But I'm like, that guy's out on stage and he gets a mic and he stands there. If you ever watch some of his videos, he just holds the mic like this and he closes his eyes, right? And when he closes his eyes, and first he's telling a little story that leads into the song. You know, he does that several times throughout the night. But as he's telling his story, you feel his passion. You feel his passion. You feel that he's bringing it from his heart, you know. And he's out there and he just rocks, you know. Again, I only knew about 6 songs, but I just stood there and I'm standing. We're on the side, the second level, and the lights are going on, and I'm just watching this crowd go nuts. And when the crowd's going nuts, what do you feel? The energy, and that's life is about energy. Life, there's energy that surrounds us all the time. And what are you going to do with that energy? And I'm watching, I'm like, the first song, he comes out, I had no idea what it was, never heard it before, and the whole crowd's singing. I'm like, how do I not know this song? You know? The whole 13,000 people are singing this song, right? And I'm like, this is great, you know? And I'm just taking pictures of it with my phone. And Bruce Springsteen, he's on stage, and it goes out like this, and there's a ramp that goes out, and then straight across the middle of the arena floor. And he's got that little walk about him, you know, a little strut. And he's walking and he's taking pictures, he's hugging, selfies, the whole way around. He didn't care what anybody thought, man. He was engaging the crowd. He was engaged and he owned that stage, right? But he was giving his heart to, I mean, think about it, 66 years old. Do you think rocking for as many years as he's been rocking, do you think he has a right to say, hey, I'm taking a half-hour intermission? Do you think he has a right to do that? Most bands do. I'm telling you, man, the energy he put forth, and the show he just does he does one thing, he goes out to the middle, and he looks down at the crowd, and he lays back, and he does a body surf all the way to the stage. And it's crazy, you know? So I'm sitting there, and I'm watching all this, right? And I'm getting inspired, and I'm starting to feel guilty, right? So I had two emotions going on in my head. You know, my first emotion was the guilt part. I'm like, this guy's living his passion, and he's living his purpose, right? And I'm thinking, I'm 48 years old now, and I've been wanting to do something for a lot of years. Since I read my first personal growth book back in 1990, and I'm like, this is the path I want to take. But I really didn't commit in my mind to doing something until about 2001, 2002. And I'm like, it's 2016, I'm 48 years old. The guilt part was like, I should be further down the road than I am. That's the guilt part, right, that I was thinking of. And I'm like, and I started to get a little emotion, I got some tears welled up my eyes. I'm like, Rob, why are you thinking that way? You can have that pity party, but don't stay there. And then I started thinking, hey, what's to come? What's to come? What's around the corner? What's my future look like, Because I think you guys know me by now. I think you know the energy I have. I think you know that, I love real estate, but I love inspiring and impacting people. I love that, And we had a class today that I was doing, Mike was in it today, and the class was over. I'm like, man, this is what I love to do. I was fired up, I don't know if it showed or anything, but I was really fired up about it because I just love to tell stories that impact people, impact and inspire people. So this guy, my point is, he is 66 years old. He's playing for 3.5 hours straight, and he's giving it all he had. He's giving it his heart. What's really disappointing to me sometimes is you see people who have talent. They have talent, right? And they just don't want to put forth the effort. Growing up, I used to call those people, I used to say to those guys or friends, they got a pulled heart muscle. Because, no, I never said that. So what's in your heart, man? What's in your heart? What is it that you want to give? Is it bigger than what you do? Is it something bigger, or is it what you do? And either answer's fine. As long as you give it everything you got when you're doing it. As long as you give it everything you got when you're doing it. So the heart piece, it just came to me. I'm like, so when the book comes out, you'll see some of these stories in it, by the way, And then I think about my daughter, right? And I think about everything, American Idol, I would say, is because of her. Dancing with the Stars is because of her. Bruce Springsteen is not because of her. She doesn't even know who the guy is, right? But she came in, I don't think I shared this story before, and I'll finish with this. She came into my home office about 3 months ago, and she walks in the room, and I got bookshelves here and here, and I got 500 books that I've read over the years on my bookshelves. And she comes walking in, she opens the door, and she's nodding, and she goes, Dad, so is this where you get all your inspiration and motivation? And I looked at her and I said, Amanda, you could say that. You could say that. I said, I will tell you this though. I said, as long as you live in this household, you will never have to go to Barnes & Noble's because everything you need is right here in this room, right? And she goes, Dad, I want you to pick me out a book. Now, at the time, she's 13. She was like 2 weeks shy of her 14th birthday. And I like to say she was 13 when she started her personal growth journey, you know? So she says, I want you to pick me out a book, right? I pick out a book, and I say, here you go. Here's what I'm going to tell you what it is in a second. And then she goes, Dad, you know what else? She goes, I want a journal. And I'm like, you want a journal, really? I said, that is really cool. I said, and what are you going to do with a journal? And she said, Dad, I'm going to write in it everything I'm going to do in my life, all the people I'm going to help, and all the places I'm going to go to help those people. And I was like, wow, I mean, she's tugging at my heart, you know? I'm like, as a dad, I'm like, this is what you want. You want your kids to, like, you know, see it, but you want to tell them what to do, but you want them to self-discover, and that's the hardest thing to do as a parent. I think any parent here would agree, you know? So she goes, so I want a journal, and I'm going to do all this stuff. I said, man, that is awesome. And I had 2 brand new journals sitting on my desk that I hadn't opened up yet, and I said, do you want one of these? She says, no, Dad. She goes, I want the kind you got, the first one you got. It was in Maui, and it was like this Italian leather, and it had these strings that you tie it up. She goes, I want the kind you got that you tie up. I'm like, I like that. You know specifically what you want. And I'm like, that's cool. And I said, well, look, here's the book. You know, you need to get to bed. It's 10:30 at night. You got school tomorrow. And she goes, Dad, I'm not going to bed right now. I never go to sleep right away when I go in my room. I'm like, well, what do you do? She goes, Dad, I think about all the people I'm going to help, all the places I'm going to go, and what I'm going to do in my life. And I was like, holy cow, I mean, this is awesome, you know? And I said, okay. I said, but don't spend too much time, you know, staying up tonight, you know? But she goes, I'm going to read. Get up 7:30 next morning. She comes down. I was like, Amanda, I said, did you read last night? She goes, yeah, Dad, I read 7 chapters. And I was like, holy cow. I'm like, I'm melting. Yeah, I'm inside, I'm melting right now telling you the story, right? And I'm like, what did you get out of it? And she goes, Dad, she goes, find your purpose, live your passion, and follow your heart. 13 years old, getting that stuff. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you were 13 years old? Maybe you were when you started this journey, but I wasn't, you know? 13 years old. And I looked at her, I said, Amanda, I said, your future is bigger than you can imagine right now. Because if you stay with this stuff, you're going to be a big leader. You're going to be a leader of people. You're going to be leading by example. And I love that, you know? So again, I'll go back to what's in your heart. You leave here tonight, think about what's in your heart. Now, some people, you ask the question, hey, what's your purpose? I don't know my purpose yet. You hear that a lot, you know? And I talked about this before, but when you feel that humming in your heart that's tugging at you, that's just tugging at you, and Rex, I'll use you as an example, because you're an engineer, right? He was in engineering for years, right? 15 years, and he calls me up one day and he says, Rob, I left my job. He goes, because my passion is photography. You remember that conversation? We had that conversation over the phone. And I was like, that's a guy that's going places because he's following his heart. And that's what you're doing. You know, it's good. It's rough starting. I'm sure it's right. What you told me it was a little rough starting, getting out of the gate.
No clients.
And he leaves a job.
Packed up my stuff and left.
He leaves a job. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. That's faith. That's belief. You know, it's strong. So what's in your heart? You know, thank you for being here. And with all my heart, I say thank you, you know. And I'm looking, go ahead.
The book, what book did you give your daughter the first
Oh, thank you for saying The Seed. It was called The Seed by John Gordon, right? Check this out, right? So I give her The Seed. So she reads the book within like 3 or 4 days. And she sends me a text with all her notes. I'm telling you, I got to the end, I was crying, right? I was like, wow, that's powerful. Dad, I need another book. It's been 3 months now. It's been 3 months. She's read 6 books in 3 months. 6 books in 3 months at age 14 now. I can wait because I can wait because I don't want to be 90 years old watching all this come to fruition, you know. But I can wait for that. But I can't wait to see her future in front of her. I can't wait for that because it's going to be powerful, and I'm just going to be sitting there saying, "Wow, man, you know, what a blessing! What a blessing that is." So maybe next time we talk about blessings. Good.
But you planted the seed for that.
If you want me to keep going, I said, Amanda, you guys all right if I keep going on this? So the next day we're at basketball practice. We're back basketball practice and we're driving home. Now, my wife had told me sometimes she just sits in her room and she reads the children. She's got a Bible. We never said, hey, read your Bible every night, but she just reads it, right? And I said, Mom told me you read the Bible on your own, at night. She goes, not every night, but a lot of nights I do. And I said, what encouraged you to do that? She goes, I just want to have a good relationship with God, right? And I'm like, that's cool. She goes, but I think he gets mad at me because he gets tired of me asking for the same thing over and over again, right? And I said, man, that's where you're wrong. I said, he wants you to ask for the same thing over and over again. He wants you to persevere. He wants you to keep doing that. And I said, I think it's just great that you're on this journey. And I said to her, well, what encouraged you? What made you do this? And she looks at me and she goes, duh, Dad, it's because she's been seeing what I've been doing over the years. Because I'm a little overbearing with my kids. Like I want them to be successful. And I think a lot of parents can be overbearing. But she said, Dad, I've been watching you. And I'm like, it's hard for me not to cry right now. I get choked up telling you that. I've been watching you. I tell you, kids catch more than they hear. More's caught than taught, So if we just live with our heart, live with our passion, find our purpose, and live that purpose, and be the example, our kids are going to see it. They might not tell us, but they're going to see it. And someday, somehow, some way, they're going to start doing things. You're going to be like, where did that come from? And the answer is you. So thank you again for being here. And again, if you have guests you want to bring, they're a business owner or a salesperson, love to have them get involved here, and we want to build this community. So thanks again, guys. Thank you so much. Okay.